Hey guys, this is Jamie. So today I want to talk about um, a thing that bothered me, I guess, in the beginning of the transition more than it does now, because now I feel like I'm more calm and I feel like I have a more at ease concept with, I guess, the passing of life, which is a very interesting thing to say, because I did a video on it recently, specifically like about how I used to be suicidal and my take on things while now I feel like when it comes to the end of life and I guess what happens to the body afterwards, I do have a sort of concept of an idea like probably if I'll pass like before my partner, then I I understand my partner will be in charge of that and he'll be able to sort of do my name properly and everything. But growing up and at the start of my transition, I was kind of nervous that I would be buried under my dead name, and that was something that really bothered me. And I feel like right now this is important to talk about as well because like in the US people get their passport sort of changed back, or they might not get a name change through, they might not get ID changed. And I have talked about it that I do feel uncomfortable that back when I would complain that I was born in a country which wouldn't let me do it, and I feel like everyone would just be like, oh, you have to wait like 10 years to change nationality and stuff like that. And I don't think that it was okay that people would tell me that, oh, whatever, haha, deal with it. Because right now in the US, people still have to wait probably less than I still have to wait, or less paperwork than I have to do until like the wait for another presidents to change, and then they'll be able to change their name change. And I feel like we really don't discuss the problems of the fact that bureaucracy makes it so uncomfortable to change. Bureaucracy makes it impossible to change. So again, like I've been transitioning for years now. I've known that I'm a guy for many years. I have all the old diagnoses back when they were more strict and you had to go through more strict evaluations, when you had to go through multiple institutions to assess you. Have been assessed by different countries. And I know that I'm a trans dude and I've been living as a man for many, many years now, and even my own concept of sort of like gender, what do I feel is gender, what do I feel is sex, how I get diagnosed for different things, how my blood tests go, like everything is just written as male. I'm treated as a man in my day-to-day life. As a man in like my personal life. I'm treated as a man in ID. So even like when I go into certain situations, people understand that all of this is just because my birth country just doesn't allow it. And it's insane because it is literally just because someone who makes laws, or who doesn't want to change with the times and or change their opinion and acceptance and understand that certain things just need to happen, like letting people change their names, just doesn't want to allow it. And like I've had situations where like I go to officials like from my birth country and they're like, yeah sir, we can't change your name. So they can't even like process the fact that I'm someone else other than a guy. So so that's the thing. So when it comes to certain things like death, I do feel like I was really nervous. Like, what if my family gets my body and I was sure that they would like bury me like under my dead name? And that obviously bothers me. And that is a reality for many trans people. And we recently had a terrible situation here in Portugal. I don't want to go very deep into it because it is very fresh, but family can be very, very transphobic and very disgusting. And like, I know that like my in laws and my family, like my in law family, if going by pure technicalities, like they really love me, and I know that they will put like my actual name, like Jamie, on my tombstone, or like whether it's like an urn or my ashes. But I don't know about my family. Like I don't talk to them. I don't want them to sort of even know where my body is, at some point. Like you just don't want someone to be dealing with something as fragile and as significant as leaving the remains of someone's body after their passing. And the fact that, unfortunately, transphobic people may end up having to deal with a trans person's body is a fucking crime. Like, the person should be buried how they want to be buried, under the name they used or they feel comfortable in, whatever they want in the tombstone, really. But obviously, people have this idea that, or family has this idea, like in the case that happened recently here in Portugal, that they know better about a person just because they have blood relations to, or blood ties to that person. And like, I went to like a trans talk as well, and I hear these things about, um, like families which grieve, or they say like, oh yeah, like I don't know about like my son or daughter coming out, and then they misgender their child, and they don't understand that it's not about them losing someone, because the person they have in their heads, it doesn't really exist. They're so detached from the person that they don't even know their own child. And for instance, like when I talk to my mom and I talk to like about makeup, or like I really like growing up, I really enjoyed like Sex and the City, like a TV show, and like I would talk about these old hobbies of mine, and they would look at me sort of like as if I can't be myself and still enjoy the things that I enjoyed. Like being a man doesn't remove me from liking makeup or from a trip we had. And people sort of see as if a trans person is going to change entirely and going to become an enemy, when in reality it's the relative that becomes the enemy. And I really don't understand in general the concept, I guess, that the ideological idea of hating someone just because they're trans or because they're gay. And going back to something as fragile as the end of life, it is a life that someone else lived, and if that person did not understand that person's life, they shouldn't be in charge of understanding or doing the sort of last acts of burying or ashes for that body. But bureaucracy is hell, so that's the problem. So yeah, so what I wanted to say was, I do feel like I'm a bit calmer now, because I feel like I have people who will be taking care of my body whenever that happens, and like I have no sort of intention of dying anytime soon again, because like I'm enjoying life. And it's also kind of weird to just sit here and be like, yeah, I'm not gonna think about death, I'm enjoying life, but I kind of have to say this in these videos. It is what it is. It happens, and I really hope that everyone gets someone who understands their life, and everything will be done sort of in ways that honor the person rather than disrespect them in horrible ways. That's what I wanted to say. So yeah, and that kind of triggered me a bit, made me think about it. So yeah. Anyway, I really hope this whole situation in the world in general, that we can be ourselves, we can change our names, and so that we get respected in our lifetime and after our lifetime as well. So yeah. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you enjoyed this video, please feel free to leave a like, feel free to leave a comment. If you liked it, please subscribe. Feel free to share this with someone. Be respectful. Thank you very much.